Hi, I'm Kendall with Kendall's Greenhouse, and today is a bit of a rainy day, but I did a whole bunch of work yesterday, and I want to take you, show you where the front bed is that I planted yesterday. It's kind of like a tricky little spot in front of the fence where it doesn't get any water. I have to hand water it. Lots of people walk along the sidewalk and dogs pee and things, so it's been a rough place to plant. I do have some sedum coming back from last year. I don't remember exactly what variety, but I added a couple more sedum and a few things yesterday, so let me go show you what that looks like. I think maybe Luke is coming with us. He looks ready. So we just go down our stairs. Here is the gorgeous rhododendron right now. Isn't this purple glorious? And then the new beautiful growth is this nice limey green color. You can kind of see the older growth is this a little bit darker color. So, so beautiful. So we'll go through our little gate here. So where we're going is this front part of our property along the sidewalk here. There's a little patch of dirt in front of it, and I don't want it to just be weeds. So you can see right here, there's just some weeds growing. I'm trying to get rid of them. So to prevent that, I'm trying to plant up this bed here along the front. So let me turn the camera around so I can show you close up what I planted yesterday.
Even though I just said I was going to show you what it looks like, if you are ready to see that now, go ahead and jump to the end of the video where I show you the after. In the meantime, this is the work I did yesterday. I am laying out some of the plants I'm getting ready to plant here, and then I'll show a little bit of me planting. Lots of neighbors and dogs walking by, and then I'll show you the final product. The tool you see me using goes by a few different names. I knew it as a Japanese hoe. Looking it up, some people call it a combination hoe and cultivator, or a hand hoe, H-O-E. So you can look it up if you're interested. I use it when I have rocky or clay soil that's hard to get into. Trying to stab at the soil with a shovel is not very productive. So I use this cultivator instead. If there's a particularly hard spot, I use the spikes to sort of stab at it and loosen it up, and then you can use the hoe side to scoop the soil out of the way. So this soil here next to the sidewalk is pretty compacted, very rocky. It's especially rocky around where they just set the fence posts. So this was the best tool for the job. I am multitasking a little bit. You can see me removing some weeds here before I plant. I also am pulling some dirt down away from the fence panels where it's touching when I get a chance, because I don't want dirt and water sitting on the wood. It can take me a really long time to garden in the front yard area here because a lot of friendly neighbors walk by and chat for a little bit, which is super distracting. I try to garden while they're talking to me sometimes, but it's not always easy. So you will see some of that sped up or cut out because there are lots of chats.
Hi, how's it going? Where are we going to put these?
I bought this Gaura and saxifrage wholesale. This is the first time I've ever ordered a wholesale flat of plants, and I have potted them up into a little bit bigger cells, but even then they are ready to go out in the garden. I've had them for about a month and a half, and so I figured I would try them out here. It does say that at least the saxifrage says it might be drought tolerant. The Gaura I put by the fence thinking it might get a little bit of water from overspray from the lawn. So I have a lot of these. I figured we'd just try them out here and see if we can get some flowers earlier in the season, since most of the sedum bloom late summer and fall. So while I'm planting these, I'm thinking about a few things. I'm thinking about the sedum that I put in last year. I tried to put tall sedum in the back and ground cover sedum in the front, closer to the sidewalk, so that it would grow taller by where the fence was going in. I actually planted this before the fence went in, assuming that that's what I would want. And then the new sedum that I put in is also tall, but not quite as tall as the tall sedum. I think this one gets a max of 12 inches, whereas tall sedum gets 24 to 36 inches tall. So Gaura can also get pretty tall. So I'm just kind of looking at the ground where the bigger sedum is and sort of trying to position it so that not all the tall stuff is right next to each other. And then the saxifrage is just sort of a low mounding ground cover type plant. It does send flowers out that are a little bit taller, but it's still lower overall. So I did go ahead and put that closer to the sidewalk in the front. It's a risk. It might die. I do feel like it's a pretty hardy plant. The version that I have out in Seabrook at the beach house has been very hardy all winter long. It blooms really early, and it's sort of in a pot and super dry and still alive. And so I'm just going to give it a chance in a lot of different places and kind of experiment with it, because I really enjoy ground covers and I enjoy this one and the beautiful little pink blooms very much. So hopefully this will survive here. We will see.
There's a bug climbing on my watch. That seems appropriate, right? All right, that's gonna have to do for now. It is messy. We're gonna go and water this stuff in. Alrighty, so I have tags for two things that I planted. One is this stone crop Sedum Cape Blanco, and I just had two of those. This is what that looks like in the ground there. And then the other one is this October Daphne Sedum, and that is the taller one there. And you can see it planted all the way up the sidewalk there. I just freaked out a pedestrian. All right, so here is the other Sedum Cape Blanco. Oh, I forgot I left these rejected Gauras. These are the ones that died. That one has a little bit of green on it. Let's go pop that in a planter. All right, here's our angle from this side. You can tell it's been rainy. Some of the lupin is down there on the left. So as people walk past our property, our fence begins here, right kind of around where that big rock is. This area is not planted yet, but you can see those new October Daphne sedum make a nice little display here. I did put some blue star creeper at the base of these fence posts. This is the only one that took. I think it had enough shade. The other one's fried. This one might be alive actually. I think I took the fried ones out. If I see one, I'll let you know. Okay, so saxifrage plugs are in. That is a Gaura plug there. There is the new sedum. And then here is the sedum. I think it's called Lime Zinger. I'll look it up, from last year that's coming up. And then here's another one. So these got destroyed by the guys putting this fence in. I didn't even think they were alive, but they were still alive underground.
Just a quick walk down memory lane. 2 years ago, I had the yard guy edge the grass like this because I knew we were going to put a fence in line with the neighbor's fence. And I wanted to go ahead and experiment with planting in this area. So the first year I spread a whole bunch of mini zinnia seeds, obviously too many, especially considering there was no irrigation. So I tried to keep it watered, but yeah, it probably needed more water and maybe some fertilizer and definitely fewer seeds. The seeds grew very unevenly in this space, so I became aware that the soil was very uneven and the light was very uneven in this front space, and so I didn't want to plant all the same thing on this little strip again. The little zinnias on the end here looked really cute. They got just a little bit bigger. So that's about as good as it got. It was fun for cute little cutting flowers, but the next year I decided to put some sedum here because it's such a high traffic and dry area. And then I don't have much video of it. So all I have is about a month ago when I saw how many of the sedum were actually coming up and alive still. And then that brings us back to today when I added more things to this area.
Here's a taller sedum. Alive. And then, yeah, this really looks like the lime zinger. We have huge linden trees on our property and they put out seeds. That's what these are. And then I just popped these saxifrage in all along the way. And then that sedum should look familiar. That's more like autumn, what do they call that popular kind? There's another Gaura, more sedum. Oh, here's a Gaura with a flower. It's getting a little beat up, but it has more buds on it. And then you can see I loosened a lot of these weeds, but didn't pick them all up. There are some little seeds that snuck down here and I just kind of left them to see if they are seeds I want. You can see there's a lupin here that's seeded. We get a lot of this kind of oxalis in here that's pretty weedy. Here is the dead blue star creeper that I was talking about earlier, but that's okay. Like I said, it doesn't get irrigation right here, so. Oh, and here's some alyssum that seeded itself. I think that whole green patch there is alyssum. And then if you peek through the fence, you can see the clover lawn that I seeded is coming in nicely. It has a few patches of grass I'll need to weed out, but not bad at all. So the sprinklers, you can see a sprinkler head right through those two fence panels there. The sprinklers spray in to the clover lawn, and they don't spray on this outer side. So it's wet right now because it's been raining, but I will have to irrigate this section to settle these plants in, and then they will have to survive on maybe watering once a week during the summer. And if they don't survive, then I will try something else. So that is our update. Here's a quick peek of the lupins because they're really pretty. They're starting to form seed pods right now. We'll need to do a full front garden tour soon so I can update you on all of those things. Thanks for joining me in my front yard to take a look at this fence strip and a peek at the beautiful giant rhododendron tree. We'll take a look at the rest of what's going on in the front yard soon, but I just wanted to show you some updates for this little strip right here. Hope to see you again in the greenhouse soon.
Find yourself in Candle's greenhouse.